Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in to my first of hopefully many videos on my new painting channel, Bare Knuckle Painting. Today I'm going to be having a little look at the new custodian models. These are now available in a 5-man set from Games Workshop. They are exactly the same as the ones that came in the Burning of Prospero box set, but obviously you don't have to buy the whole box now just to get yourself 5 custodians. I'm going to look at today getting the gold armour done. I'm going to show you the technique that I use to paint it. I think that it's quite a very fast, efficient way to get a really nice looking armour, pick out all those fine details and get a nice tabletop ready model. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the paints I'm going to use and the equipment I'm going to be using for this today. So the paints I'm going to be using today, for the base of the gold I'm going to be using Retributor armour for the base, highlighting that with Liberator gold. For the metallics, for the silver, I'm going to be using Lead Belcher as base, Iron Breaker as a highlight, and I'm going to be using some washes just to add some depth and tone now. I'm going to be using Nulling Oil primarily, but I'm going to use some Agrax Earthshade as well as some Seraphim Sapphire, just to add a bit more definition in there. When I'm painting this model, I'm going to be laying down the base colours initially there with just an airbrush. Now the airbrush I use is just a cheap one bought from Amazon, nothing overly expensive. I find them sort of good for the purposes I use them for. The compressor I have has a tank on it, it'll have to run it a little bit longer without getting too hot. But for the sake of this model, it should be no problem. Just lay down a nice even coat of that gold before moving on and picking out the rest details in brush. I use a range of brushes, some Games Workshop ones, and a few other different brands that I've bought over time that suit my needs. But for this, I won't be using anything much smaller than a 3/0 brush. This is not going to be a display quality model, this is going to be a good tabletop standard. This is something that you can throw down on a squad very quickly, very efficiently, and get those models ready to drop onto a tabletop. So let's get started. Let's lay down the colour of the gold all over the armour. I will lay that down and I'll be back with you in a moment. So as mentioned before, the airbrush that I use is just a very cheap, cheerful one. This is a suction fed model that I'm going to be using for this. It's quite nice big reservoir there. I'm just using the Retributor armour base paint, thinned with a little bit of the air cast thinner from Games Workshop. It's a good thinner, it's good quality paint. The flow, quite nice, not too heavy, avoids any kind of running, drip or pooling. You can use gravity fed airbrushes, I personally do prefer them. But the gravity fed airbrush I've had at the moment has broke. I've gone and bent the needle because I'm smart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly lay down a base colour of this all over the model and show you how smooth it looks being done with an airbrush. So as we can see now, we've laid down a base coat with the Retributor Gold. This has given us a lovely, shiny, even, smooth finish all over the model. You may notice that it's not quite reached the tip of the blade, or the bottom of the actual magazine on the ball gun, but that's because I'm going to be painting those in by hand later, so it doesn't really matter too much about that. But I've been able to get deep into all the recesses of the model, getting a nice even coat all around. I've also, while I was at it, based the shield and the helmet. Now, I have for this model painted the bare head as well, and I will be pinning the helmeted and the bare head version, so that I can swap and change them depending on what I'm feeling that day. It may be that I decide that I just like one or the other and I'll glue it in place, but otherwise I'd like the little bit of posability. Now, the reasoning behind me keeping the head and the shield separate is when the shield is actually placed on the body, it does cover a large amount of this side and across the front of the model. And I really wanted to get in and paint those details beforehand, because you can see them on a closer inspection, and I didn't want them to look black or unfinished. And in regards to moving the head, there is quite a lot of detail on the inside of the cowling, around the inside of the helmet. I think it'd be really nice to make sure that's well painted in. I have just noticed a little hair there that's gone to that. I'll make sure I get rid of that before I continue painting. So what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be washing the entire model with Nulling Oil. Now, there's two versions of this. You can get a shade, you can also get a gloss shade. For this model, I'm going to be going with a very dark look. I want it to look quite moody, a bit grungy. for that I'm going to be using this shade. Now that gives us a nice satin matte finish. The gloss version, as you can imagine, leaves a bit of a gloss finish. Now, I have seen that used to exceptionally good effect. Personally, I prefer the darker look. If I was doing something like maybe Dark Eldar or Stormcast, which I have got some projects up on the table, I may consider using the gloss to give the armour a more shiny black look in the recesses. But for this, I'm going to be keeping with the normal one, and for that I'm just going to be using Games Workshop medium shade brush. This shade brush gives enough control whilst having a really good actual shade reservoir. I personally think the Games Workshop brushes are actually quite decent quality for the price you pay. I know some people out there will protest that they are other brushes that they enjoy, or that Winsor and Newton are better for this, that and the other. I find all paint brushes work fine as long as you look after them and keep them safe. I, after every painting session, spend a good couple of minutes just cleaning off my brushes, making sure there's no paint build up anywhere near the ferrule, that the brushes are thoroughly cleaned out. And for some of the more fine detail ones, I actually use a abrasive free makeup remover. I find it keeps the bristles really soft, maintains the points really well, and it gets everything off. Doesn't matter what you've been using, whether it's metallics, glosses, shades, it clears everything out of the bristles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, wash this all now with the nulling oil, and I'll be back in a moment to show you the overall effect at this stage. So, welcome back. So, the whole model now is being covered with nulling oil. As you can see, straight away it changes the whole look of the model. It's sat really nicely in those recesses. It's toned down that gold without taking it too dark. What I'm going to be doing from this point forward is I'm going to be using some of the Agarax Earth Shade just to add a little bit more tonality to it. Now I'm going to be applying this using a small detail brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it around just some of the details just to sort of break up the look of it. This technique that I use of gold then washed with nulling oil gives a immediate nice effect, but there is more that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead, grab my Agarax and do a bit more shading on there. The difference won't be overly noticeable, but it'll just break it up a little bit. So once again, I'll be back in a minute. So welcome back, guys. So I've just spent the last few minutes just going back over that gold with the Retributed Gold. I've made the paint quite thin, about a 2-to-1 mix of paint and just clean water. I've gone back over, just bringing that gold back up. As you can see, the details now stand out a little bit better, especially when we look onto like the shoulder pad. The eagle's more pronounced again, it's got a shine back to it, and just picked out some of those sharper details. What I'll be doing from this point forward is we'll be giving it a second highlight using the Liberator Gold. Now this Liberator Gold is quite a pale gold. It's much lighter than the Retributor, and I'm going to be using it mainly on all the harsh points. This will give a nice strong crisp highlight on areas where you would naturally expect gold to have a strong shine. You may notice I've not actually redone the gold on this staff yet. This is because, as you may have seen from the box art, there's a lot of black on that staff, so I'm going to be blacking that in another video, and then the gold will probably need a little bit of a touch up here and there when I do that. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the the Liberator Gold, just to show you a contrast. Oh Jesus, this is what happens when you don't have a stand for your camera. This is obviously the shaded and then re-highlighted, and this is what it looks like just shaded. So you can see already there's a bit of a difference there. It's been picked back up quite a little bit. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'll be back with you in just a little bit. So here we go. The liberated gold has been added onto it, and as you can see, it just helps pick up some more of those details, just flashes them out a little bit, makes the edges crisp up, look a bit nicer, and that is essentially it for the gold armour. And there's a couple more little things I'm going to be doing to it. Primarily second coat of nulling oil wash onto the armour joints, just to darken them down a little bit, onto the vents, and inside where the head goes, just to add an extra layer of shadow in there. Obviously still the gloves to paint all the silver details. I'll be double checking the box art just to see what they consider requiring silver, and then also the plethora of gemstones that are on this thing. As from where I can count, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gemstones just on the body itself, and I'm going to be doing a separate painting video just on how to paint those gemstones. I have a technique that I've used for a long time. It's one that I used from the old heavy metal painting masterclass book. It doesn't use the new gem technical paints. It's quite an old school style of doing it, but I think it gives the best effect when done correctly. Once we've done those, we'll concentrate on getting this staff finished off, as well as the shield and the helmet. But yeah, thank you very much for watching my video. I plan on getting the other videos done and released in the next week, and then from then on there'll be hopefully a new video every week. If this channel starts to pick up any kind of pace and traction, I will look at expanding it from there, start adding videos more regularly, maybe add some different features as well, product reviews, hints and tips, and we'll see what happens. If this starts to generate any kind of real popularity, then I will upgrade my equipment, get myself a proper little studio, better camera, better mic, stuff like that, and we'll see where it goes. If nobody watches this video, then, you know, I won't make any more. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again. Thank you.